Welcome to Mrs. Voisey's first instructional video. This video will teach you how to make a sock cat, and if you're inspired with the cat you've made at school, maybe you can watch this video at home and make one of your own. Let's get started. Remember, I've put some links on your Google Drive document called Year 7 Sewing Circle. You can use those tips and tricks to help you with this tutorial, or you can ask someone who's sewn before to give you some help. Remember, when we pack up, everything goes back in your bag. Make sure your needle is nice and secure somewhere and that we can read your name on your packet. If you're watching this tutorial at home, you will need to snip the stitching that is at the top of your sock. I've already done it for you for your school one. You'll need to get yourself a pair of scissors and some tailor's chalk, which is really good stuff for drawing onto fabric. You need to have the heel part of your sock facing upwards. If you fold it in half and trace along the line of the edge of the sock, that'll give you a nice arc piece. Cut along that and then you'll have the head piece and the body piece. Don't forget to put the pieces that you're not using back into your plastic bag so you don't lose them. Turn your sock over so that you can find the toe end. Draw with your tailor's chalk a nice curve again and cut along that curve. Not like in the picture where Mrs. Voisey's cut it straight. This is the body piece and here is the tail piece. Remember to put any pieces that you're not using back into your plastic bag. Here are all your pieces: the head, the body and the tail. Remember, put your pieces in your plastic bag when you aren't using them. Right, for this part you'll need a ruler and some tailor's chalk. What you're going to do is you're going to measure from the heel of your sock along 6 centimeters. And what we want to see you doing is drawing a line with your tailor's chalk from the 6 centimeter line right to the edge of your sock. That's going to be a helpful line for later. You're going to start stitching just a little way in from the edge of your sock. You're going to stitch along the red stitching line until you get to the end here. Don't stop there. Do little stitches in between where you've already stitched, and this will make a very, very good join when you put your sock together. Then finish off where you started. Now you can see I didn't stitch on the blue line. I stitched about 1 centimeter away from the blue line. Then you're going to stitch on the other side. Remember, start a little bit from the edge, all the way along, down about 1 centimeter away from the blue line, and then back on top of your stitching you've done to the edge there, and finish just in the middle there. The final thing you're going to do is get a pair of scissors and very, very carefully cut along the blue line, so that now you have 2 separate bits. That's going to be your 2 legs of your cat. Right, this is the other end of your sock. Once again, from the heel part, you're going to measure along 5 centimeters this time. And with your tailor's chalk, you're going to rule a line or draw a line to the end of your sock. Now, once again, you're going to do that stitching. Start a little bit from the edge and stitch along. You can see the red line goes all the way around the blue line right to the edge here, and then you're going to fill in the gaps of your running stitch that you have done before. Keep sewing all the way along. Hopefully you'll do a better job than what my drawing is. All the way along, right back to where you started, and come back to finish in this spot here. Then the final thing you're going to do is cut along the blue line. Be really careful, please. Try not to cut your stitching that is there. That is going to make your sock cat legs fall apart. Hopefully your sock cat looks a bit like this picture up the top here. The next thing you're going to do is turn your sock in the right way. Remember you left a little gap in one of your ends between your stitching. That's the little space that you're going to use to turn your sock in the right way. So you're going to work on these far away legs first. You're going to turn them in the right way, and then you're going to turn the body in the right way, and then you're going to do the last two legs there. Use your finger to help push right to the tips. It's really important to have a nice neat end, and just slowly and carefully pull your sock through until it turns in the right way. If you need help, please come and ask one of the teachers. Right, now that your sock is in the right way, you're going to stuff it. Now this stuff here is called nimbus stuffing. A nimbus is a type of cloud. It's a white fluffy cloud. You're going to take little clumps of the nimbus and stuff it into your sock cat. I've found the best thing to do is actually do the legs that are furthest away from your hole. So here is the first leg I've done. I've done the two legs, and then I will stuff the heel of the sock and then the other two legs. You're going to have a bit of a gap. You just need to get your needle and thread and overstitch that little gap shut, and then you'll end up with a body that's hopefully looking a lot like this. You can give the legs a squeeze and move the nimbus stuffing around if it's not quite in the right place. My suggestion is stuff it quite firmly. Your sock cat actually grows in size a little bit at this stage. Right, hopefully by now your body piece and your tail piece is safely in your bag, and you just need your head piece out. What you're going to do is you're going to overstitch round your ears, just like I have done it in the picture here. Then you're going to turn your head into the right side. Remember, use your fingers to make sure that the ears are sticking out nicely. Then you're going to stuff it. This is easy stuffing. Make sure once again that your stuffing goes right into the tips of your ears. Then you're going to use a running stitch and stitch around the bottom of your neck. Once you've stitched all the way around your neck, pull your thread nice and tight and it gathers up like this. Then you can finish off your thread. Just like your body part, make sure that you put lots of nimbus stuffing in. We want nice round plump cat faces. Now it's time to attach your head to the body. So figure out which side of the body you'd like it to be on. Then very carefully stitch around the edge just with a running stitch. As you can see, I've tried to hide that bit of endy pieces that you've gathered up, and I've stitched my head on. I've stitched all the way around my head, from the back of my head all the way around my neck, from the back of the neck right round to the front of the neck, and finishing again at the back of the neck. Last but not least is your tail piece. Now this is probably the most challenging part of your sewing. What you need to do is get your tail piece and just fold the edges in a little bit. You can see I'm holding them with my fingers there. If you pinch them together, like I have done in this picture, that will hold it together. And very carefully you're just going to stitch your pieces together. And just stitch it with an overcast stitch, that would be fine. You need to stop part way along and about halfway, 3/4 of the way, and stuff your tail. You don't need to cut off the end of your thread. You can just leave it dangling and stuff your tail. I found using a pencil at this stage is really good, because I found it difficult to get my thumb and my fingers into the little tail. Keep finishing off stitching your tail until it's all closed. Just like you did with your head, stitch your tail on, try and stitch right round the base of your tail. So right round all the sides of your tail so it's on nice and securely. Kids are well known for holding on to soft toys by their legs or their heads or their tails, so we need to make sure it's on very securely. You can have your tail sticking up like I've done in picture 1, or you can have your tail sticking down like I've done in picture 2. Now it's time to add a face to your cat and a bit of personality. I've got some scrap pieces of fabric. You can cut a triangle shape or a round shape and just place it onto your cat face. When you start your stitching, try and make your knot go on the back of your nose part, and then just overcast stitch round your nose until it's fully secured. And you can also put a mouth on. You might want to get some tailor's chalk and just draw on where you want your face shape to go, and then just stitch along with a running stitch. As you can see, like we did on the legs, you stitch all the way along with your running stitch like this, and then you're going to fill in the gaps of your running stitch on the way back so that you end up with a nice straight line. I found it was a good idea to start at the nose when I was starting this, because if there is a little bit of a knot, it doesn't really matter. You can see it just there. So stitch both sides of the mouth and then finish off your work right in the centre there. Right, we're on the home straight of creating your cat. The final part is to sew on the eyes of your cat. You'll need to get your needle and just poke it through your fabric in and out where you want your eye to be. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to put your needle through the button, one of the holes. Try and make an X shape, so you're going to go to a diagonal hole and put your thread back through. Here it is done there. And then you're going to go in and out through your fabric again. As you can see, there is the knot just there, and it's going to be hidden underneath the button. Right, pull it nice and tight so that your button is now touching onto your fabric, and very carefully put your needle through one of your holes again. Try to aim for the same hole that you did the first time. And on the diagonal again, so put your needle through the second hole of your button. And then a final thing to do is put your needle through your fabric, in and out of your fabric again. If you can do this whole process 3 times, and then put your needle through the other 2 holes that haven't been secured yet. Your aim is to have a button with the 4 holes, and you will have an X shape between your holes. So that's how your buttons should look like once they're finished. So secure it through the holes 3 times. Remember to do your buttons for both eyes. You'll need to sew on 2 buttons. Congratulations, you've now completed your sock cat. Well done!